Hi, welcome to Shared Frequencies and the Space Between, where heart meets brain and life happens in the messy middle.
We're two best friends navigating a new chapter, sharing a space, finding our rhythm and tuning into life's transitions.
This is a space for deep and meaningful conversations about growth, connection, and everything in between. Let's tune in to today's frequency. Hi, and welcome to episode 7, Sharing Space and Settling In. It's official.
Yep.
The first week. You survived.
I did. I have survived. And yeah, very much so. It's been good. It's been good. It was, making the move and just getting my butt down here.
Yeah.
And getting moved in.
Yeah, I know. So now we're actually in it. I also skipped a step there because I'm so excited that it's actually here. So just in case you're new and you just jumped straight into this episode, my name is Elle.
And I'm Don.
And we are just starting to live together.
Yes.
Sharing a space and trying to navigate that with a friendship and the turmoil that comes with living.
Yeah, as we've mentioned in previous episodes, we've both lived alone for a good while.
Yeah.
Good number of years. And yeah, it's no more.
No more.
So yeah, it's been far less, I don't want to use the word stressful. I never ever thought it was going to be stressful, but it's been far smoother and more comfortable than I thought it might be.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of that was in my head as opposed to there being anything really that I thought might not work or might not go right or whatever, because we've talked about this for a while. We, again, from previous episodes, have gone through the practicalities of it in terms of how we divvy up household jobs, money, all that was sorted out in advance. And so far so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. So Sunday, a week past Sunday,
From when we're recording.
Yeah.
Yes.
I packed up my car with the stuff that I thought I would need, and drove down. And then, I've been getting moved into my room. We had a trip to IKEA, which is always fun.
We had more of a domestic in the grocery shop than we did in IKEA.
We did. Very mild, but yeah. So to get specifically for me to get some additional storage.
Yes.
That's it. All my stuff that I require for now is here with me. And I moved in.
Yeah, slowly making inroads. You've still not unpacked into the bathroom, though. What's that about?
I don't know. It's probably just like I've not got around to it yet. It's just like one of those, because when I was unpacking originally, it was just kind of like, and I never initially had the tall boy unit that we got at IKEA, because we only got that last weekend. And it was that kind of like, I was unpacking stuff to somewhere then I was going to have to shift it, and it was just like, so yeah, it's sitting there in a bag that I trip over.
Yeah.
So I'll do that tomorrow.
I mean, you don't have to.
But I don't think there's anything in it other than I've just not done it yet. And it's just kind of like, that's how my brain works.
Is that the ADHD? It's just
it'll happen when it needs to happen, and when I need to move the stuff across, you know. So I'm also been growing out my beard, so I've not had any necessity to, well, maybe I've had a necessity, but I've not been shaving. So, yeah, I mean, my toothpaste and stuff are
Yes, no,
there.
your toothbrush and your toothpaste has moved into the bathroom. And we got a toothbrush holder.
Yes, we did, rather than
IKEA.
stuff lying all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But that's it. And then you have like that weird little travel
oh,
tube
yeah.
shower in the shower.
But this is it. It's just like, I have a lot of bits like that. You know, people buy you shower gel gifts and whatnot, or you win them in like raffles and things.
Like those, like, they're not testers, but you know, they're those boots gift packs.
Stocking fuller smellies, as we refer to them.
Smellies. Yeah.
You know, so so I have lots of those bits and pieces, and I just work through them and use them up. Unless they're really awful, in which case I tend to like bin them.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
You know, so yeah, but no, it's just that it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for me, there was a massive relief because it was so uncomfortable being in the house with like that room just standing empty.
Yeah, because you moved your office out of it.
Yeah. And all of it, like my pictures. So whenever I walked past the room, I don't like closed doors.
Yeah.
So I never closed the door because that felt even worse.
Yeah.
And then walking past, and my colourful pictures weren't on the wall, and the wall looked bare, and like it felt like someone had moved out, which they had. It was me. I moved out of the room. But like, I don't know, the energy in the room had shifted, and it felt
dead space.
wrong. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a relief that the space is now being used.
Yeah, and I've got my pictures in.
You do.
And up.
Yeah.
So you're now faced by the tiger.
Well, yeah. So the
when you walk in the
tiger's
room?
the tiger's on the back wall.
Yeah.
But I see the chimpanzee.
Oh, when you're walking down the corridor.
Yeah. I see the chimpanzee more.
Yeah. So
because the door is never fully open.
Yeah. So they're up. My clothes are, well, some of my clothes have been there for a little while. I took some down when I came down to stay turn of the year for a little bit. I've got my bits and pieces, you know, my knickety-knackety bits. So the move in was straightforward.
Yeah.
You know, it was, and it wasn't nearly as bad to kind of cut down my stuff to what I needed as I thought it was going to be. Well,
I think this is also one of the things that does come natural to you because you did work in the Coovan and, you know, first the QTA, so like being on the road and that. And I don't think it's necessarily fully sunk in for you in that sense.
Having moved?
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously the house is still there.
Yes.
Your stuff is still there. You've not moved out. You not actually have to pack up your life.
No,
You've only
the furniture
packed
and stuff,
for your life.
Yes. Well, that's it. And I kind of took when I was packing up, it was kind of like, in my head, I kind of did like, I'm packing for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then essentials over and above that I thought I might need beyond that. But yeah, in terms of, because I've not taken or not been moving furniture and stuff, but I've never moved furniture when I've moved because of the way that my moving and everything has always happened.
Of course.
You know, I've never had to move furniture on a house move, so I don't know what it is, and I have no sentimental attachment to any of my furniture or anything.
No, but I do think that once that stage come, I think that's going to be a big one.
The house, when the house sells, and handing over the keys, that will be big. But I don't think it will necessarily be big in terms of
As in difficult, or?
No, but I mean in terms of the fact that I've moved, I don't think that's what will get me. I think what will get me was the reason that I bought that house.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
was to be close to my dad.
Mm.
You know, primarily.
And the kids,
you know,
as well.
and yeah, nieces and nephews and stuff, and so that was the purpose of the house.
Mm.
You know, it wasn't necessarily my dream home, my forever home, or whatever. It was a very practical thing attached to that. You know, but then my dad passed, and so yeah, so it will bring back some memories in that, and also the really coincidence. You talk about coincidences, but when I bought the house, the day that it cleared would have been my mum's birthday.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing how life throws these little coincidences at you. So I think emotionally, in that sense, I'll feel it when the house sells.
Yeah.
But in terms of moving, yeah, I don't think that will be a catalyst for anything there.
No, I think it'll be a catalyst for something really exciting.
Yeah.
Right, because that then frees up the money and you can then start actively looking at other
moving
places.
On.
Yeah, and start dreaming about, well, what's the next chapter going to be like?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm already in the next chapter.
No, but I mean in terms of like.
But yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, from the practical front, from the move, all went okie dokie, all went fine. Moved in, and as getting along, I mean, we have. I've been down here and stayed over with you for 3-4 weeks. I think at one point, was that a couple of years ago, of Christmas, New Year,
3.5.
Yeah, but it's a very different.
It is
vibe now. Mm-hmm. It's a very different vibe now, but also not.
Yes, yeah, because we're still
different but
us.
The same. Yeah,
no, exactly. But like we're still us, and it feels very natural.
It does.
And I think we've done really well in terms of settling into like the everyday bit of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's the main difference. I think from me coming down, just knowing that I'll be going home again in a couple of weeks, or a few days, however length of time I was down staying previously. Whereas now there's routine.
We're definitely already getting a routine established.
So in terms of cooking and doing dishes and these things, we set out from the start that we were going to have that.
Yeah.
So that's where it's different. It's a lot of stuff that we did before, but now it's set by a routine, and it's not like hard and fast, like to the minute you do this, you do that, the routine as such. But it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. That agreement is in place to do stuff. And anything that's it's not anything that's cropped up. It's just like there's not. It's just the stuff that was happening before. Like so if I'm cooking and every 2 seconds I'm asking you, how do you want this? How do you want that? And you're like, just bloody cook it.
Oh yeah, no, we did. I was totally overstimulated in my brain, and I was hungry, and I was getting pestered over text message.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And I was on total overload. I saw this TikTok that turned into a reel or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was a woman talking about they live in a very neurospicy household. And they were talking about when they get into that state, it's like they call it everything is bears.
Yeah, okay.
So you react to everything as if it was a bear attacking you. So you're just in that like... So I was hangry and totally overstimulated and just like... And you kept asking, and I was like, well, let's just do the fish finger wrap. Yeah. And you're like, okay, what do you want in it? And I'm like, just fist finger and like some salad stuff, and you're like, okay, what do you want in the salad? I'm like, I just like a salad stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want tomatoes? Just make the salad. Like, I don't care. Just like put whatever salad you want in it.
Yeah, so, but again, that's stuff that would have cropped up previously.
Absolutely.
It's, so
that was not a unique situation.
But no, it certainly wasn't. But I think I'm getting better.
Definitely.
better.
Definitely.
On that front.
Yeah.
Enjoying not just cooking for myself. I really am enjoying not just cooking for myself because, it's just like, not that I didn't care when I cooked for myself, but it was just kind of like you kind of forgave certain things or certain lazinesses or doing weird things or whatever it was that you're just kind of like, yeah, well, I'm the only one that's going to eat it, so what does it matter? So I am enjoying cooking for more than just me.
Yeah. I enjoy that we have conversations about like, oh, do you fancy trying that? Or like, hey, I've seen this. Do you think that could be nice?
Yeah. Even when I break your brain.
Oh, well, I mean, actually, I really do enjoy that because that challenges me to express what it is that's happening.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't necessarily realize that that's a trigger for you until you get confronted with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I am discovering things about myself, and as we literally just talked about over dinner, that apparently texture in food is a very big thing for me, and I've never put those puzzle pieces together before.
Yeah.
So now I do really enjoy that when you do it. That doesn't mean you have to start doing it deliberately.
No. I won't.
Please don't.
I won't. No, I won't. And
because it's very overwhelming for me when you do it. But I love when they crop up organically.
Yeah. Oh no, there are absolutely things that I might tease you on and whatnot, but stuff like that where I know.
But again, that's also normal.
When I know it's going to break your brain potentially, then But I also never expected that the idea of putting crisps in a sandwich would break somebody's brain.
No. Okay, right. Okay. If we're going to go back to that one, that was not the thing that broke my brain. That was not the thing that broke my brain. It was the whole lettuce and cheese in a sandwich that you were going to put crisps in.
Yeah.
So it's the lettuce, which is wet, and depending on how you do the cheese, if it's slabs or cheese or grated cheese or whatever, but like it was the lettuce with the crisps, where I was like, but that undermines the integrity of the crisp.
Well, if anybody's listening to this and they want to give their thoughts on it, jump into the comments and give us, because to me that's in the UK that's a fairly common thing,
And just in case someone out there listens, and they don't know what we mean when we say crisps, we mean potato chips.
Potato chips.
Potato chips.
Any of our American friends are listening. I don't know what they call them elsewhere. So in Danish we say chips. Yeah.
I think they're probably called that, but that's probably the American sort of thing.
Influence.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So if you put potato chips in salads with wet ingredients, and then you took it a step further.
In sandwiches, not in salads.
No, sorry.
With salads.
In sandwiches. Then you did the whole, tuna mayo sandwich with crisps in it. And I'm like, now you're just deliberately trying to screw with my head.
I can't think of a sandwich that I wouldn't necessarily put crisps in.
I can. Anything with a wet filling.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But apparently that's the texture thing that I didn't realise that I had.
Yeah. So we've been doing that. We've been menu setting.
We have.
We've been loosely setting out. 4 days. 3-4 days. We kind of know what we're going to have. Friday's going to become fridge potluck. So we're just using up whatever we've got in the fridge, and then weekends will just kind of take care of themselves depending what we've got going on, and who's where doing what, and how we're feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
So on that side, that's fine. dishes, which came up previously, washing the dishes and stuff like that seems to be working fine. It's just kind of like if there's dishes there and the person feels like doing them, they get done. Both of us seem to quite enjoy or
I do, yeah,
get in
we
that
do.
headspace with doing the dishes.
Well, so it's all for me. It's all about depending on how my morning is going.
Yeah.
So once I come back from the dog walk, depending on how long her ladyship has decided we're walking and, you know, what else is going on. If I have had a really bad night's sleep and I'll need to jump back into bed before starting work, I will not be doing the dishes.
No,
in the
and that's fine.
If I get sidetracked or if you get up before I start doing the dishes, I will prioritize sitting down and having a cup of coffee before starting work over doing the dishes. But yeah, no, that feels very natural. One of the things that didn't feel natural last week that I really enjoyed was the midweek cinema trip that we took.
Yeah. We just decided we were going to go and see a movie. Yeah.
On a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't leave the house after 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, that is not happening.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed that as well.
But it was really good, despite the movie being very triggering.
Yeah.
Very triggering. Yeah. I enjoyed the movie. It was a hard watch though in the current political climate.
It was Captain America and
New beginnings.
New beginnings, and with everything that's kind of going on in the world just now, it just felt a bit like ooh.
Yeah.
So.
But it was a good movie.
Yeah.
For a Marvel.
Yeah.
And alienating any people who might be listening.
Yeah.
But
that was good.
That was really nice. I really enjoyed that.
And I went to the local photography camera club.
You did.
First meet last night. I enjoy my photography. I've not done nearly enough of it in the last couple of years. You know, so I decided when I moved that I was going to take a look at camera club, and so I went and did that last night. Met some really nice people, like a really fun, eclectic, down to earth, you know, group of people. It was really nice. It was really nice.
No, you were quite excited for it to see what it was like.
Yes.
Maybe a little hesitant, but definitely excited to see what it was like.
Yeah.
As I mentioned this morning when we talked about it, it felt really weird when you walked out the house, like because the energy obviously shifted.
Yeah.
It felt really calm, but I think it felt calm because I was just sat in the quiet.
Yeah.
And I was tired.
Yeah.
And the dog was calm. She was, you know.
And she's very calm this evening. It's great.
Don't jinx it.
No, she is. She is like, she's had enough for today, I think.
Yeah. No, we went for a run and then she went to see the ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like I was like, it would have been nice to have had a couple of bits of drama just to talk about and go, and this is how we worked it out, you know. But that will have to wait for future episodes.
Yes, well, that might come when we start getting into a cleaning routine.
Yeah.
That might be.
But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But that's it. And I think it's again, we've talked about this, like neither of us, we don't get personal when we disagree or whatever with each other, and we never take it personal.
No, also,
you know, and that's been like a day one thing. With us, that's just our natural character. With each other, certainly.
Yeah.
Is we don't do it. So, you know, like the fish finger wrap thing and whatnot, where you had a wee snap.
But I think it was justified.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Was it a slight overreaction potentially?
Yeah.
But I do think that a tiny snap was justified.
Oh,
but then again, you were also overwhelmed because again, it had been a full weekend, right?
Yeah.
A day in IKEA, and then a day in B&Q.
Mm-hmm.
And your brain was already running on solutions for doing
Kitchen
the
plumbing.
flooring
Yeah.
and like how many cabinets do we need and what's the size, and actually do we need one kitchen counter length or do we need two kitchen counter
Yeah.
lengths, and how do we do this? So you were in
Yeah.
problem solving
Yeah.
mode, and I think your brain was probably still
But
going at it.
these things, like, it's literally a moment.
Oh yes.
And it's like it never gets brought up unless you're doing a podcast and you're talking about it. It never gets brought up and never gets cast up. And never, it's just like, yeah, in that moment, I just could have just cracked on with it and been done. And you could have like maybe not snapped, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, I just wanted to make a fish finger wrap that you would really enjoy, and you just at that moment in time couldn't care as long as it didn't have crisps in it, obviously. Because you just needed and wanted food.
Yes.
So yeah. So that's that. Anything else? Is there anything else? I'm just trying to.
I don't know. Has anything else sort of come up?
I say it's only been
10 days.
10 days since from the recording of this that it's. But yeah, there's been no. It's been good. It's been good. I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
I'm enjoying sharing space.
Oh, actually, no. Yeah, I wanted to talk a bit about that. Actually, so I realized the last couple of days when I've been out walking, specifically in the afternoon, I've just been feeling really restless.
Okay.
In a way.
Yeah.
Why does this make me emotional? This is stupid. No, yeah, I've been feeling a little restless. It's making me very emotional. This is weird. And I haven't quite been able to pinpoint it.
Yeah.
So like I've started listening to my audiobook or the podcast I've been listening to and didn't quite do it. And then I had that very unsatisfying interaction. No, that's a lie. It wasn't. I just didn't get out of the conversation with my sisters that I wanted to yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, why does that bother me? Like I knew they were starting the, cool down routine. She was playing with the boys and everyone was tired. She was tired. We were both walking and yawning. So I hung up with her and I still felt super restless. And it wasn't until this afternoon that I realized why. And it's because for the past 3 months, almost, almost every day, not every day, but almost every day, we've been on the phone while I've been out walking.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't do that because you're here.
Yeah. I mean, you can still call me when I'm sitting here if you wanted to.
Could, but that's a bit silly, And I didn't realize until today, and I was like, oh.
So that actually,
it's that afternoon conversation that was just like totally ripped out of my routine.
Yeah. Okay.
Which felt really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're both here in the mornings, we still, because we regularly, I mean, you say for the last 3 months, I mean, it has been almost every day for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Where we've talked. But for the last 5 years, we talked a lot on the phone regularly.
But it's really ramped up the last 3 months.
And
well, actually, it's really ramped up the last 6 months. So after, your burnout and all of that, checking in, and so like having that phone conversation whilst walking has become apparently was a really big part.
Yeah.
And it's not been there. And it didn't click until today.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
But when you were talking that through there, it was like, and I went, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
I know where you're going with, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is, yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But I also think it might be, I'm really tired.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Because this should not be like a proper tears running down my cheeks here. and my nose is going now. Yeah, no, I think it's probably also because the last 10 days in my work has been hectic.
Yeah, been full on, yeah.
Yeah, been very hectic, and like you really helped me out with like a few things and just like sense checked and like, how does this sentence read?
Well,
and
it's the end of the financial year here,
It
so
is.
it's lots of deadlines, lots of stuff needing completed, finished, and things. So
and finished in a way that I've not like done before.
Yes.
Like it's a different audience who needs kid gloves.
Yeah.
And I don't wear kid gloves for anyone.
yeah. So
so you've helped me out a lot with that. The last week in particular. But that means that the conversations that we've had have had a purpose.
Yeah.
We've not had a lot of the sporadic and just organic conversations, which are the ones that I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
There's not been a lot of those over the past 10 days.
No, because there's lots to talk about in terms of the settling into the same space and whatnot.
No, but I also think
that takes up a good chunk of the conversations.
I mean, yes, but I also think that it's because in the morning, whenever we're sat and having coffee, it's very short because I start work at 8.
Yep.
So that's a short interaction. And then during the day, conversation again has a purpose.
Yep.
Over the weekend, the conversation had our weekend had one purpose, and that was figuring out the kitchen.
But it's also because we are living together. The what did you do with your day conversation, we know because we're living together, so we kind of know what each other is doing with our days, so that gets removed from the conversation.
But I mean, that's only how the conversation starts.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Whenever, you know, it's like, oh, am I disturbing you?
Yeah.
I always say that when I ring up. Ring up? Wow. Apparently I'm on a dial-up now. No, so when I call you and I was like, oh, am I disturbing? Are you in the middle of something? And then we just talk about that, and then the conversation just organically, you know, transfers into something completely else, and it takes twists and turns that no one would be able to like foresee. And that hasn't happened to the same extent. You know.
Yeah. It's different.
Yeah.
It's and it's not something that I would have necessarily thought about in advance.
No, me neither.
You know.
Me neither. And it wasn't like I was walking and listening to the audiobook. I'm back at listening at CQ MacDonald and The Stranger Times.
Yeah.
Or Queef MacDonald. And Bancroft was going off on a tangent about something in very colourful language. And I don't know what it was about it, but something just clicked. And I sort of like just giggling to myself. And I was like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It is interesting. So, anything else? I think we're, you know, because we don't have any...
Well, I mean, there was no real topic, and there's no real, you know, things that needed...
No pearls of wisdom to share from learnings.
I don't think so. Except for having those conversations early on, I think has really helped set us up. And I can feel that, right? Like this past week and a half. Yeah. Because everything had already been mapped out. It's
managing expectations.
It is, and I think that's really important in everything in life, right? Setting the scene, you know, showing your hand, so to speak, and what cards you have on your hand and where you're at and what might work for you versus where everything else is. So I think because we've been very good at having those conversations and just be clear.
Yeah. But we always have been. And
yeah.
you know.
So that might
Yeah.
be, you know, if anyone is struggling with something, I think just being honest and being
open talking
and talkative
and share.
Yeah.
And we've
absolutely.
always been good at sharing and sometimes oversharing.
Yes.
You know, which is great. It's like, because even on that, where there's like, we will give each other a heads up. We'll kind of go, this might be a TMI,
Yes.
you know, too much information scenario, but here it comes anyway.
Yeah, you have been forewarned, but you have no choice in the matter.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Right, so we don't start rambling. Shall we just draw?
Yes,
episode 7.
Let's draw it to a close.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for tuning in to Shared Frequencies and the Space Between.
We hope our conversation today has helped you find a little more clarity in your own space between, whatever that may look like.
And remember, it's okay to be a work in progress. We're all just figuring it out, one frequency at a time.
So if you've enjoyed this episode, or if you have an opinion on crisps and sandwiches, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who might need to hear it.
And until next time, keep tuning in and finding the space that works for you. Thank you.
Goodbye.